I agree. I agree completely, Duncan.
Aye, exactly.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot a word from our personal friend.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Hello everyone. It's me again, Gormy, and welcome to another live stream with your favourite folk band, the Gorms. Coming up on this week's show, we've got some great stuff for you. We've got tracks from the new album. I'm very excited about that. But first, I want to give you my joke for the week. What was the tortoise doing on the highway? About 100 millimeters per hour. Ha 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 ha. Okay, that's all from me, folks. I'll see you later. Enjoy the show. Bye.
Lovely. Fantastic introduction there from Gormy.
Yeah, I'm
As always.
excited. I'm excited as well. Like you said, it's big stuff. Big stuff happening.
Duncan, you're in space.
I'm in space. I thought it was safer out here.
It always is.
I got bored of the cloud, so I thought I'd move it up a level.
Jack, you're in. Looks like a studio.
I'm in Studio B this week, and who was it, Duncan, that I was saying was recording here? I can't remember off the top of my head. I have so many of these big bands.
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow's here, and she's redoing her
with Kid Rock.
Her duet with Kid Rock, re-releasing it, and I'm sort of remixing.
Great. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother. One of my favourite Sheryl Crow songs. I've just stepped down. Obviously, the do is happening upstairs for the great release tonight, the fantastic release, which everyone is so excited about. A lot of drops going to be happening.
I have to know, how is a socially distanced Kaylee? How does that work? How do you swing your partner around?
It's fantastic, Duncan. It's fantastic. I don't, there's a lot of thought went into it, and a lot of work has gone into it as well. I don't want to bore all our thousands of viewers at home with all those details right now. Maybe once a few of the tracks get laid down tonight, I'll let you know exactly how that works. Speaking of tracks getting laid down, Jack, is that the running order for tonight's jam-packed show?
Well, we're going to play a couple of tracks off our new album, which we're going to release at the very end of the stream. So once we get there, keep watching to the end, and then we'll release the album live on air with a click of a button, or several clicks of a button.
And nothing can possibly go wrong.
Yeah. And then so we've got Johnny Sangster. That's our first song.
That's my favourite.
First song. It is my favourite as well. Before we get round to the wonderful Johnny Sangster, thanks very much for tuning in, folks. I hope you're all having a good Friday night, wherever you are. We're a band from Edinburgh called the Gorms, but we're not allowed to play music anymore, and we're all separated from each other because of the restrictions at the moment for the coronavirus pandemic. We've got the words out there in the end. I suppose that's all we really need to say. We've been having quite a lot of difficulties this week, a lot of emails, not too many productive ones. We always appreciate all our guests, of course, and all our support, but we'll get to those emails in a little bit. Duncan, I'm going to pass over to you. You're in the front line here with the incoming messages. Do we have any viewers this evening? Maybe the messages,
let's
we'll
see
screen them.
Who's watching? We've got Anne Hansen, Pascal Battaglia,
hello,
Daniel Spee, Sophia Lander, Micah Garlapau, Joe Jones, Jill Cairns, Anna Kellstrom,
hi mum,
Ken Longfellow, of course. He says,
hello
lads, it appears you had fair weather in Edinburgh today. We did. I hope you were able to get outdoors and enjoy it. It's a lovely and sunny 22 degrees centigrade here this afternoon. Here is where? San Diego, right?
San Diego.
It was a lovely day here, wasn't it? I didn't get out myself.
It was a grey sort of cloudy day.
Was
it not sunny at some point?
No, that was yesterday.
Well,
I lost a day possibly.
It's always sunny in space, Duncan. Always sunny in space.
Always sunny in space.
you're on the dark side of the moon, of course. And just like being on the dark side of the moon, that great track that was laid down all those years ago, I hope we're going to spin up the first record for tonight. Not quite a gold seller like the dark side of the moon, but nevertheless one of my favorites. You've heard the title already. It's called Johnny Sangster.
So
Jack,
what? Just before we do that, what was the original melody of Johnny Sangster? It was to another song.
Oh, I don't know.
Johnny Lad.
Every day's a school day. I'd love to know.
Apparently, it was to the original music of Johnny Lad.
Oh, really?
Anyway, there you go. Are you ready for it?
Incredible.
You ready for this
I'm stunned.
amazing song? Here we go.
Johnny Sangster. Take it away.
Harvest is the only time, yet it is the rarest. We rise as soon as morning's light, nae critters can be blithe. Buckle on our finger steels and follow the cipher. And we you, Johnny Sangster, I'll trim the gavel on my sheaf. You're the gallant bandstar. A mare in peace to line her cheek, a foe that we get fodder. The clouds of blue tobacco we then suit out in order. The sheaves are rising fucking fast, and Johnny he mun bind them the busy group. For first the stick and scarce to look behind them. And we you, Johnny Sangster, I'll trim the gavel on my sheaf. You're the gallant bandstar. I'll gie you bands that win a slip, I'll plead 'em wheel and fawn. I'm sure they'll win a teeny grip, however will you draw 'em. I'll lay my league out of the sheaf and throw the band say handy. Elke share of strach's a rash and that'll be the tandy. And we you, Johnny Sangster, I'll trim the gavel on my sheaf. You're the gallant bandstar. A dainty cooey in the byre, for butter and for cheeses. A grumpy feeding in a sty would keep the hoose in greases. A bonny ewe in the bug would help to crease the ladle. We'll get roughs a canny woo to guy and think the cradle. And we you, Johnny Sangster, I'll trim the gavel of a sheaf. You're the gallant bandstar. If e'er a chance to be my lord, to get a gallant bandstar, I'll get him wear a gentle coat, and I'll bring him goud and handfast. Johnny, he can please himself, or wouldn't he wish him blinket? After he has brewed his ale, he can sit down and drink it. And we you, Johnny Sangster, I'll trim the gavel of my sheaf. You're the gallant bandstar.
Great. Absolutely excellent.
Wonderful.
We could have played that better, I think, but on the new album, I don't think anything could have been done better. It's as close to perfect as I've ever heard. I mean, I guess everyone can always improve, but you did well. You did well, guys. Considering the standards that I've come to expect from you, you did do quite well. So
that's high praise indeed coming from you, Mr. Cook.
I'm sorry. I'm
Thank you very much.
Tonight, with the launch. No problem, Jack. No problem.
Yeah, I'm happy with the album launch tonight as well. Is everyone in the chat excited about album launch? And just say you are, even if you aren't, because that'll help us to get excited.
See what people saying. So, Tony Campbell's watching from Canada. Hello to everyone, by the way. Daniel Spee said, "Evening lads, cheers on the new album." Who else is watching? Eva Magdalena, Selena Scher, Caroline Lee Smith.
Hello.
They were talking about San Diego, which we mentioned before, so we did get that right.
What were they saying about San Diego?
Well, they were just figuring out where Ken lives. I think half of the stream is
Ken. Doxing Ken.
is Ken's chat in the background.
Don't put his address on the comments.
He hosts the Facebook chat while we were talking nonsense, I think. So
Great.
Caroline
What are they saying?
is saying Watford is nice too. I've
It
never been to
certainly is.
Watford. Have you been?
Oh, you missed
Is
it.
that not where
Oh, yeah.
EastEnders is filmed?
No, that's Walford
Walford.
and London. I don't
They're
think
both over the
it's
wall,
not
yeah.
real though, is it?
Can anyone tell me? We were just discussing soap operas and how they're filmed during these uncertain times, and can anyone tell me what EastEnders is like just now? Because I'm not watching it. Is it all weird? There's no extras, and everyone has to stand 2 meters apart.
It's a good question,
I hope
Jack.
it's like that.
I've got one. I've got one for you as well. I know you are a big soap opera buff, like the rest of us. Your favourite character from EastEnders? You don't have no explanation. Just tell me your favourite one. Be great.
Where to start? I mean, I've got a list. Of course, Nick Cotton, Doc Cotton's son. He's quite good. Mark, the guy who played Tucker in Grange Hill.
Oh, aye, Todd Carty.
Todd Carty. And Ian Beale, of course, can't go without him. Phil
Okay,
Mitchell.
Duncan, what about you?
Oh, I can't remember his last name. Barry, the one that got murdered up in the hills.
Oh yeah, by someone that I forgot who they were.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, he's good.
I would have to say Trevor Jordash.
That's more Brookside, I think.
Aye, that's a
think
different
you'll
thing,
find.
isn't it?
But there is a Trevor in EastEnders as well. He was a Scottish character.
Oh, aye,
he was really evil.
Aye, that's right.
He was an evil Scottish character in that
It's
English
funny that it
TV shows.
never happens.
Uncharacteristic. What are they saying in the chat there, Duncan? Any positive statements or more slander?
Ken says he reckons you look quite posh tonight, and I'd have to say I agree with him.
Well, that's because of the album
You're looking
launch.
dapper. You're looking dapper.
It's
Well, I suppose you have been with your socially distanced Kaylee group this evening celebrating.
That's right.
So
doing
of course,
Zoom Kayleys.
You do look very, very dapper. Pascal says hi from Avignon.
Hi, Pascal.
Kim Johnson's watching. Tony
Hi, Kim.
Campbell says hi.
Hi, Tony.
Berbal Merker's watching.
Hi,
Anna
Berbal.
Kerstrom says weekend live stream and wine. Skal from Sweden.
Skål.
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 Hopefully said that right. Eileen Mullen says evening gents.
Evening.
Got Jared Cody, Chris Cooper, Natasha Dagdrummer, Priscilla Brow or Broch.
So are they just here, or are they saying
They're
anything?
here in the ether watching us.
Ah.
Neil Rushton as well.
All right,
He
folks.
likes the song. We've only played one so far though, so that has to be, what was it then? Johnny Sangster.
That's on the new album.
Ken said his fingers are poised on add to cart, so he's already on the Gorms Bandcamp, which is what the Gorms.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, we don't even know our
It's
own
on the
address.
screen, folks.
If you type it into Google,
me.
you'll find the Gorms.
Eileen Mullins says so excited. That'll be about the new album. Me too.
Cheers, Eileen.
Me too. Byron Vurbach says hi all.
Hi, Byron.
Thanks
Thanks for joining us.
Carrie Humber's favourite actor on EastEnders is Danny Dyer. I can't remember what his character.
He's in it now. Yeah, he is in it.
I don't know what his character's called though.
He's a kind of geezer.
Well, of course
David
he is.
Cameron.
He's
Where
Danny
is he?
Dyer. Anna Kellstrom, absolutely. Which is actually a great TV show if you've never seen it.
It is.
Martha Radams here. Trisha D. Hall Newland. Sophia Lander said, looking handsome tonight, Stu. So you've got more admiration on this wonderful look you've got going.
Jeeves.
Looks like you've got somebody.
You look
phone
very
with
pleased with yourself.
Are you channeling your alter ego now, the Mad Earl, the Drum Lanrig?
No, I've just been locked in a house on my own for months.
Okay, fair enough.
It'll do that to you.
Marta Radam says, greetings from Poland. Hello.
Greetings, Marta.
Trisha
No.
D. Hall Newland says, Bob and I love our Friday nights because of the Gorms.
Oh,
Thanks
amazing.
for that. It keeps me sane, this getting together and...
Drives me mad, but I'm doing it for other people. I'm doing it for everyone in the chat.
You're so selfless, Jack. Always been the selfless brother.
Oh, we've got more EastEnders chat. Well, Caroline Lee Smith said, love Friday Night, Gorms Night 2. Gary
Cheers,
Blackswatch and Carrie Humber says that Danny Dyer plays Mick Carter. So we've got all the information we need to go forward now on our questions about EastEnders and the lockdown and restrictions. Or should we just play another song? That might be more interesting.
Maybe. I thought you were going to say, should we play a clip from EastEnders, but we'll get the stream taken down, I think, by the BBC.
Well, I'm afraid we can't. I mean, I understand, folks, we're all in the same boat. That's what we're thinking about. But we can't play a song from EastEnders. But
a song from EastEnders, not just a clip.
We could probably play one of the rare recordings of the Scottish folk band, the Gorms, playing a tune which it's believed is actually of an English origin.
Okay.
It's so I believe, aye. It's one of my favourites, actually, though.
Is this is one of your favourites?
It's one of my favourites, yeah, or maybe my favourite.
Well, this next track is called Matty Groves. It's a song that when we were growing up, we used to listen to quite a lot on the school bus. The version that we listened to was by well, I can't say it, of course, but it was a of its time popular group that were known as being quite a fair port in a storm, and they certainly bucked convention, but that was part of their style. So this is the Gorms. It's recorded off which record, Jack?
It's off our first album.
The very first album. Okay, so a really good throwback here to to that year that the album was recorded. I hope wherever you are at home, 2011. I hope wherever you are at home or on the road, perhaps driving to a loved one or a forgotten friend that now you're going to be coming into contact with again. You enjoy the track brought to you. It's called Matty Groves, of the very first record of the Gorms. I hope you enjoy it.
A holiday in the first month of the year. Lord Daniel's wife came into the church, the gospel forth to hear. When the meat on it was done, she cast her eyes about, and there she saw little Matty Groves walking in the crowd. Come home with me, little Matty Groves, come home with me tonight. Come home with me, little Matty Groves, and sleep with me tonight. I can't come home, I won't come home and sleep with you tonight. By the rings on your fingers, I can tell you are Lord Daniel's wife. But if I am Lord Daniel's wife, Lord Daniel's not at home. He's away in the far green lands, bringing the innards home. A servant that was standing by and hearing what was said, he swore Lord Daniel he would tell before the sun had set. And when he came to the far green glades, he took off his shoes and he ran. When he came to the far green stream, he took off his shoes and he swam. Matty put his little head down and he took himself some sleep. When he awoke, Lord Daniel was standing at his feet, saying, how do you like my feather bed, and how do you like my sheets? How do you like my lady gay that lies in your arms asleep? Well, yes, I like your feather bed, and yes, I like your sheets, but better I like your lady gay that lies in my arms asleep. Get up, Lord Daniel cried. Get up as quick as you can. It'll never be said in fair England I killed a naked man. I can't get up, I won't get up, I can't get up for my life. For you have two long beaten swords and I not a pocket knife. Well, it's true I have two beaten swords and they cost me deep in the purse. But you will have the better of them and I will have the worse. And you will strike the very first blow and strike it like a man. I will strike the very next blow and I'll kill you if I can. Matty struck the very first blow and he hurt Lord Daniel sore. Lord Daniel struck the very next blow and Matty struck no more. Well then Lord Daniel to his wife spoke for all to see. He says, who do you like the best of us now, Matty Groves or me? And then up spoke his own true wife, never known to speak so free. I'd rather a kiss from dead Matty's lips than you and your finery. Well, Lord Daniel took a stand, loudly he did bawl. He struck his wife right through the heart, hit her against the wall. A grave, Lord Daniel cried, to put these lovers in. But bury my lady at the top, for she was of noble kin.
Quality.
And we're back.
Kill him. Kill him again. Kill him once is too good.
Lord Darnell, eh? What a guy.
Aye, Lord Darnell.
Awkward
I liked it when he
silence.
slipped and broke his arm. That was a lyric that often got changed.
Do you like singing that lyric, Stu?
I do, aye. I do, and I sometimes do actually sing Lord Darnley instead of Lord Darnell. Not because of an accident, but because of some sort. Well, I mean, I know he's a Stewart and everything.
Well, you're
so
not
I mean,
allowed
like,
to
of course.
sort of refer to him by his actual name sometimes.
Correct. Depends what we're playing, I suppose. You know, when we're it depends whereabouts the show is. You know, when we played in Lord Darnell's land, well, sure it wasn't the same Lord Darnell, but there might be a small relation. So of course
You
it was
never
Lord Darnley at that point, but we got away with it.
So, folks, just before the stream, I took a wee flight of inspiration and recorded a wee video to serenade you, because I think I miss playing music in front of our Gorms. What are we calling the people watching the stream?
Well, we've had a few suggestions. Gorms fans, Gormlins, I quite like.
Gormlins?
I don't know if anybody wants to be called a Gormlin. Don't feed
Gormless?
Don't feed after midnight. You know.
So
The Sea of Humanity.
yeah, so we're gonna I'm gonna play a wee tune. Hope you enjoy.
Lovely ending.
Lovely. And I love
there
that
you go,
face
folks.
as well. I love that face.
A wee
That,
alternative version for you folks.
Yeah, that was Will You Know Come Back Again, wasn't it?
Aye.
I think so. I
Lady
think if I
Nairn.
played it right.
Or,
Lady Nairn, and that was it was written about, well, the ill-fated 45 uprising, which resulted in Bonnie Prince Charlie and the army of the Jacobites being defeated by the Hanoverians at Culloden.
It is indeed.
Got to be careful. We don't want to say too much about it.
It's not the other one. The other.
Flip.
It's not the other Will You Know Come Back Again that was written in 1993. About
By East-
a friend
East-
that
E17.
we hope to see again. You know. Yeah.
There was an interesting story actually I came across about Culloden this week. You know, I'm always into if there's any sort of ghosts and things like that, sort of strange happenings.
Yeah. Paranormal activity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to get too carried away with that sort of stuff, you know. But you keep an open mind. I think if you keep an open mind to ghosts, ghost ghoulies, and things like that, aliens, you know, uh, yeah, keeping an open mind to that's always good. I did come across an interesting story this week, actually, regarding ghosts at Culloden.
Mm.
I don't know. I might share that with you on the stream tonight.
Why not?
Yes. So ghosts that were there at the battle, or ghosts from the battle?
Well, I don't want to spoil really the story too much, Duncan. I mean, as a long time viewers, is it long term or long time?
Long term.
Yeah.
So
Long time.
Either.
long viewers will probably be familiar with it. Out of the my two brothers, that they tolerate it, but they're not so interested in the sort of paranormal and the ghosts, the unexplained. But over the past, you know, a few episodes that we've been doing, I have been giving people some of the stories about the ghosts and things like that we've been encountering. I do have a story this week. I had a few complaints about the past few stories, several stories so far, that they're all a little bit dark, I suppose, was the main complaint. Is that fair to say, guys? You read the emails, so
I would say they were fairly dark, yeah.
Did take me a while to get through all of those complaints.
I had nightmares, to be honest, after the last one.
well. But the thing is that we're doing it is a later stream, right? So before we were not allowed to speak to each other in person. We were doing music. And that was earlier in the afternoon. It was, you know, what time was it? It was 12 o'clock British time, something like that.
Well, that's too early to be telling these kind of disturbing tales.
Exactly. Well, people were saying we wanted later stuff. You know, we want to see us late on our nights. I was quite surprised, to be honest. So a bit taken aback by the fact that people we had so many complaints. I mean, complaints are strong, but there's so many people who are a bit sort of upset by the material.
Some of them were. Some of those complaints were pretty harsh, I will say. Death threats and stuff, but that's not necessary, really.
Yeah, everyone seemed to accept that the actual quality of the stories was extremely high, just that the subject matter at times veered into quite dark, you know. So anyway, of course, I did have experiences this week with the paranormal, as I always do, but I thought rather than, you know, give people more of that sort of hard-edged truth that they seem to shy away from, we'd look further afield. So I do have a story which was sent in to us by someone, and I chased them up and got the full details. So I will share that with you later on. And it is Culloden related, and that's the reason I'm talking about it, right? We listened to that beautiful rendition that Jack just gave us of Charlie's Awa. That's the reason I brought it up. I'm sorry, got off on a tangent there. I was really angry about some of those emails that you sent in, and please do send them in. It's nice to get something to, you know, to remind me I'm still alive, get my blood boiling a wee bit. Sorry, lads.
Bob Newland just sent us £20. I just thought I'd throw that
Bob.
out there. Thanks, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. I didn't mean your email. I like that one.
Well, you know, we can start thinking about changing the stories when you're sending us donations. That's...
Give us something more positive. Duncan, are any of our lovely, horrible viewers giving us comments?
Let's go back to the chat. Daniel Sunday's joined us.
Hey, Daniel.
Kim Johnson says, hi from the US. You
Hi,
guys
Kim.
are the reason I don't get any work done on Friday afternoons.
Don't tell your boss.
Yeah, don't tell your boss. Sophia Lander would love to hear Wild Mountain Time.
Oh, me too. Me too.
It's a wonderful song. It's one of my favourites, actually.
Stay
I
tuned.
would love to hear that too.
Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. Colin Marshall's watching. Hello, Ken.
Hey.
Fellow.
Ken Fellow.
Longfellow. He's back. He says the Loch Tay Boat song would also be nice. That's another one of my favourites.
Great choice.
So
I've got a long list of favourites.
If your requests don't get played tonight, they will get played on a future stream. And of course, after the show tonight, there's going to be a whole new album to enjoy.
Very diplomatic, Mr. Hancock. Any more comments?
Daniel B is proud to be a Gormling. So
Gormling.
or Gormling?
A Gormling.
We'll think about this. We'll maybe see if we can make t-shirts. Sophia Lander also says, very good, Jack. So another fan of your lovely guitar playing.
Oh, thank you, Sophia.
Howard Mann says, hey boys, bit love for you guys from old Howard.
Lots of love,
Thank you,
How you
Stratford.
doing,
Even.
Howard?
Welcome, Howard.
Ah, Stratford. Even, have you ever been there?
Yes, I went down there. It's Wordsworth country, isn't it? That's what it's famous for. Any more comments?
More comments? Let's see, where are we? David Lee Smith joined us.
Hey, how
Matt
you doing, David?
David? Joined us, as has Claire Campbell.
Hello.
Sophia Lander says the paranormal is so interesting. So you've got one fan, at least, of your
The
cool
Campbells
stories.
are coming.
The Campbells
And the
are coming.
paranormal is interesting.
It is. It is. But I mean, it's not normal, because then it would be boring.
Wow, consider my mind blown.
Is that where the word comes from?
I don't
Must
think
be.
so, but it does make sense when you put it that way.
More than normal. Daniel says, hi, folks. Svenja
Hey,
has joined us.
how you doing, Svenja?
Caroline Lee Smith says Gormland's Rock, so that's another tick for that one. Priscilla says hello from Canada. The ghost stories are the best. So more
Hey,
fans.
Priscilla.
More fans. Oh, and Daniel's happy to be a Gormer. So we can go
Gormer.
that way as well.
That doesn't
There's a
roll
lot
off
of
the tongue
different-
as much.
There's a lot of different genders within, the Gorms. So Gormers, Gormlings, Gormettes, Gormins.
I didn't think any of them were particularly gender
Oh,
specific.
Gorm-
So I wasn't worried about that.
Gormkin.
Gormkin.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Gormkin. That could
Or
work.
the 33rd degree. I like that one.
Well, we're going to have a think about this and figure out exactly what we want to go with.
Well, while we're having a think about that, maybe you want to do some more messages, or I'm sure that Jack has another track that he's itching to spin.
That's us up to date with what people are saying in the chat. So I would like to hear more music, if that's possible.
What would you like to hear, Duncan?
How about an Irish one?
Good choice.
Would you like a rover?
Oh, a rover.
All right, I can do that. I've got that lined up.
Just as well.
All right, folks, here we go. I hope you enjoy the Irish Rover from our second album. All right, there we go. Nice. Well, in the ongoing absence of the whiskey bar, does that make me gormless? That's what David Lee Smith says. Gormnesh is what Ken Longfellow says. Gormnesh. I've not really got much wine. Not got many wine, but I've got enough for like half a glass or something, so I might get it. Might get it now, actually. I'm saving it. I'm rationing it. This song's got like. What is it? Oh, the song. It's me.
Horses hides in the hold of the Irish Rover. There was Barney McGee from the Banks o' the Dee, and Fine and Beltracy from down. How there was Slogger O'Toole, he was drunk as a rule, and a man from Westmeath called Malone. There was Al McGurk, he was scared stiff of work, and Fine Beltracy from Dover, and your man McMahon, they the Banks o' the Ban, here's Skipper the Irish Rover. There was old Mickey Croot, he played hard on his flute when the ladies lined up for a set. How they would tool and twirl with his sparkling quadrille till the dancers were foddered in bed. We his sharp witty talk, he was cock of the walk as he bowled all them under and over. They all knew at a glance when he took up his stance. He sailed in the Irish Rover. For a sailor, it's always a hardship in life. It's so lonely by night and by day. So you yearn for the shore and a charming young whore that'll take all your troubles away. Aye, the noise and the rout, drinking poaching and stout, for him soon the torment is over. Of the love of a maid, he is never afraid, an old salt from the Irish rover. When the measles broke out, the ship lost its way in that fog. Aye, that whale of a crew was reduced down to two, myself and the old captain's dog. Then the ship struck a rock. Bang! Oh Lord, what a shock! The bulkhead it turned right. It turned 9 times around, and the poor old dog was drowned. Woof.
Bark.
Gargle! 1, 2, 3, I'm the last of the Irish rover.
Technical issues there, but
Sorry about that.
Was there technical issues?
Well, we started off without any audio, I believe.
You started off hearing me when you weren't supposed to.
Oh, shame. That's the best part of the song as well, when it's just me talking, isn't it?
Can I just say, thanks to Priscilla V. Brow, or let me know how you pronounce that, Priscilla, because I want to get that right. Thank you very much for sending us
Thanks, Priscilla.
£10.
Thank you. Yes.
Appreciate the support, guys. As always, struggling musicians that don't play music. Any help is appreciated especially on tonight, since it is album launch night. So
Struggling
special,
live
deal.
streamers with nothing to present to anyone.
Yeah, but we have an army of Gormlins, or well, we haven't decided that. We've got loads more suggestions.
Okay.
Well, Ken Longfellow reckons Gormnish.
I like it.
The Gormnish.
David Lee Smith says, well, in the ongoing absence of the whiskey bar, does that make me Gormless? I think that probably does.
I think it does.
Well, I mean,
but that doesn't mean that you can't be a Gormlin, and we're still here.
Or Gormkin, if you like.
Gormkin.
Or even a Gormnish.
Gormnish. So
these are just slightly different factions of the same, religion, almost. Like Catholic and Protestant.
We're starting with a lot of factions, we'll avoid any sort of thing.
What could possibly go wrong?
It's not about coming together. We start out with factions.
Segregation from the outset. Oh my goodness.
Great.
Oh, Gormkin says...
Any more comments?
Oh no, sorry, I'll go back. Where was I? Yeah, Trisha D. Hall Newland says Gormkin is a nice ring. Sounds like we're all family. I'd say yes, absolutely. We're all
to all the
here, we're all
Gormkin
mad.
out there.
We
on
are.
Friday night. Still here after several weeks. 12 drunken nights, says David Lee Smith.
12.
Always he's asking for this.
12.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember demands of 12 previously.
Do you know 12
James
verses?
Tytler. James Tytler wrote many more. James
Oh, really?
Tytler, the English Chronicle from I think early 18th century, before the balloon flight, maybe after.
19th century then, no?
No. Let's not go down this again. I mean, I know you take a wee drink sometimes, Duncan, but I think Gorms live stream number 10 or 11.
13.
You'll be able to find all the information regarding James Tytler's infamous balloon flight.
It's somewhere in there.
I do remember the chat. I read about it on Wikipedia after you updated it. Where was I? Oh yeah, 12 Drunken Nights. Daniel Sunday's saying Gormkinson's Henry's Cellar Bar.
Is that the first time we met you, Daniel?
Was
that during the festival?
2008.
It could have been.
It must have been during the festival when we were like playing it.
Well, that
every night.
Henry's Cellar Bar.
12 till 3 a.m. or something.
We did
5 nights a week.
Yeah, we did a 3-week run where we were playing till 3 every night and doing other things as well. And it was is that when we met Daniel?
That whole episode is a blur, to be honest. I don't know
we had our guest poet with us at that time as well. Remember the chap that wrote a few of our
Jim Weir.
He wrote,
Jim Weir,
Johnny Be Drunk. He wrote that one. He was the guest. I mean, unfortunately, that they're lost to time. I mean, probably for the best. There's no records remaining of that.
Well, I just heard that someone who might be in the chat called Chris Luby has a video going back to that. So that would be really good to see.
Really good's a bit of a stretch.
How bad can it be?
Could be really bad. I found a video of us playing in the Canonsgate in like 2008 as well, with Jed Potts with us.
Yeah.
And I was considering playing it tonight, but
was that before we set the speakers on fire?
It was, but it's awful. It's really the performance isn't great, but it'd be interesting to play it for people to see us baby faced. And
have you got any more old records of us playing, Jack? Any more old videos or that?
Well, I thought today I was having a sort of little walk down memory lane, getting ready for the stream. And,
as you love to do.
As I do. And remember that time when the Gorms were on RT News?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope everyone.
Was that when we were on?
I hope everyone remembers
Russia?
that. No, this is just us in Edinburgh.
They were doing a wee piece about the Hogmanay celebrations.
They were.
And, they filmed us.
I don't remember that.
Whiskey.
Yeah, so we made a brief appearance.
I've got no connections to Russian television. Do I?
Well, I don't know.
Like
do you want to broadcast it or not?
Go ahead.
So would people like to see a little news segment featuring the Gorms from about, how many years ago? 7 years ago.
It must be.
Time is a construct.
Let's do it. So it's kind of about Hogmanay and the festive celebrations in Edinburgh city centre and how they're concerned that some people are drinking too much.
Nonsense.
So here we go. And we are in it for some reason. All right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Holiday season in the Scottish capital Edinburgh is in full flow, and so is the alcohol which accompanies it. Special patrols and so-called booze buses are being deployed to maintain public order and help those celebrating a little too hard. RT Sarah Firth now reports.
In the streets and pubs of Edinburgh, and the festive spirit is alive and well.
Yeah, Edinburgh rules!
And with the city's bars and hotels filling up, the holiday season provides a much-needed boost for the local economy. But if there's one place that knows how to have a party, it's Scotland, and this year 80,000 people are expected to take to the streets of Edinburgh to join in the party. The Scottish New Year is known as Hogmanay, and the celebrations held in the city are renowned around the world for being a hot ticket.
Well, Hogmanay's just it's when, well, basically the tradition is that you go around the houses and you take a glass of whiskey and some coal to keep you warm, and whiskey to have a drink. And I think New Year's Eve was invented by the Scots.
But it's not all cause for celebration. For ambulance and police staff, it's a busy period. And in Edinburgh this year, a number of schemes have been put in place to try and provide support for the people who've gotten a little too merry. Safety zones and 2 so-called booze buses will be in operation to try to take the strain off local services. The Scottish Ambulance Service says the buses will be there to treat those who've suffered a minor injury or have simply overindulged. So as the city gears up for a busy holiday season, and as that midnight countdown nears, partygoers here in Edinburgh are asked to try and enjoy the spirit of the event, just easy on the spirits.
Good news. Interesting news there. What do you make of that, Duncan?
What a stunning, fabulous endorsement of Scottish culture.
Yeah, and our music obviously featured heavily in that clip there, and our likeness is completely all over that. Really, it was pretty much an article, or rather a news segment about the Gorms. Really.
It was all about the Gorms. Yeah, it was all about the Gorms.
Just happened to mention Hogmanay and stuff.
Well, there you go. The more you know. I look forward to.
So has anyone got anything to say about that?
Oh, I don't know. There's various things going on here. Let's see. Where were we? We were talking about 12 drunken nights in Gormkins. Yeah, David Lee Smith agreed 7 drunken nights isn't enough. Priscilla Bro, we're not sure. Says Paragormals.
That's good. That is good.
I think that's good. I think Stu would look good wearing a t-shirt that says I'm a Paragormal. That's definitely...
She would look good wearing any t-shirt.
Okay.
Thanks. I agree. Okay.
Morton Jensen says, hello, Fra Ann and Lena fra Denmark. We love you. Well, we love you too. Thanks for tuning in.
We're just butting into your conversation, but we love you as well.
Caroline Lee Smith says, well, I'm not entirely sure how she means it to be pronounced. It looks like Gormitis, but warriors from the island of Gorm would maybe be Gormites.
Yes.
But it kind of looks like Gormitis, inflammation of the Gorm. I'm not sure what that refers to.
Thank you, Caroline.
But
thanks, Caroline.
Maybe.
Take a compliment.
Carrie Humber says you don't look so cold this week, Stu. He's been dancing.
It's all that Kaylee action.
The socially distanced Kaylee.
VR Kaylee.
VR?
That's
I didn't
the next
realize
thing.
it was VR.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive.
So you actually do...
So actually...
Right, it was
do the
VR,
moves.
yeah.
So it was just you dancing around in a room with a headset on?
Well, with a beautiful partner in VR.
I don't like
But who wasn't actually there?
No.
I can't give away the secrets,
Was it like Ready Player One?
That's a film, isn't it?
It is, aye.
I was like Andy Serkis in Ready Player One.
Okay. Got it.
It's more like Total Recall. He thought he was in a Kaylee, but he's
An assassin.
just in a hospital somewhere.
Okay. Where were we? Anne Hansen says, Lena from Denmark says hi. Anne Hansen says, you are the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Anne.
Finish flag love heart.
Cheers.
Sarah McDonald's watching. She says, miss you guys.
Miss you, Sarah.
Miss you too, Sarah.
Cheers for
Daniel
watching.
Sunday says it was after midnight. So it was definitely those shows.
That was like our first gig after the Canonsgate. That we'd never played anywhere else, and that led to other gigs. Doing
First
that.
Fringe, really.
Had we not started playing at Whiskey already?
Don't think so.
Ah.
So that was like really early on.
Yeah. Good times. Anna Hansen says, you remind me of the great Corona-free days in Edinburgh. They will come again, hopefully. They will come.
They will return.
Sarah McDonald asks, fancy a wee session? That would be great, but we're not allowed to actually be in the same room to play in at the moment.
Unfortunately,
Well,
the technology.
Look me up on the old X Tractor fan website, and we'll talk there.
The technology isn't quite there yet to have us playing together at the same time like this. We don't have access to it anyway.
And if we did, we'd make a shambles of it.
Michael Jackson and Be Real can do it. Okay.
Aye.
Any more messages?
We could have
Duncan?
pre-recorded backing and sort of
Ann
mime
Hansen
to it.
says we will be back, so they're coming back as soon as it's allowed, presumably.
Looking forward to
Little,
it. Maybe before
Total
it's
Recall
allowed.
reference there. Very
Maverick.
nice. Mavericks.
Mary Lee or Marie Lee is watching.
Hello.
Sarah McDonald says, saw you, would you like to see my Gresh? Is that the drum kit we're talking about? Or is this
That sounds
So
a bit like one of those.
We have, the next track we have lined up tonight is
Gretsch.
I'm looking down here. Is this a track off the new album, Jack?
It is indeed, and you know what? I'm willing to bet that no one watching this has ever heard us play this tune, because I don't think we've ever played it live. Maybe once.
This is the last track. Is that right?
Third last track. Second last track, sorry. Yeah, neither of us.
But then after that, there's a whole new album.
So I got to say that this is my favorite track on the new record, because it is long. It's pretty dark as well. I mean, I do like sort of the Twack Orbies and some of the like Matty Groves I really like, because it's
got a
kind of
very low voice on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, it was low.
That's why we couldn't do it live, because we needed a microphone to actually be able to sing it.
Yeah. I mean, I might be able to sing it now, to be honest, because I've rested my voice now for like a year. So
smoked a lot more.
Smoked a lot more. Well, one a day keeps the doctor away and all that sort of thing. But I really, really like this one. I got to say, I really liked how it came out as well, because it's an epic. Really, it's a cracking tune.
Yeah,
and when we played it, like when we first played it, we got out of that little book at the National Library of Scotland, and it was an ace song, but we could never get it right. But I suppose as I started to hit puberty just a couple of years ago, now being in my early 20s, my voice is now at that level. I don't know, man. I really, really did like this one off the new record. It would be like, I think when Boyzone recorded Words, they probably didn't think that would be a single on the record. But of course, Louis Walsh, he knows. And Words ended up being a massive, massive hit for, it might have been Take That actually, or Westlife, but whichever group it was, you wouldn't have thought, oh, that'll be the single. But I would not be surprised if this reached very, very high in the, well, there's no chart.
The Celtic,
I wouldn't be
Celtic
surprised
singles chart.
If this was like I mean, it's my favorite, so that, to be honest, what anyone else thinks doesn't really matter, I guess. I like it.
So at the end of this track as well, there is a little piano interlude, I think, and it's actually the intro to the next song. It's like a little linking segue, and that's by Chris Lyons, who played double bass on this album, and he's a really good musician. So he laid down some piano, some jazz piano at the end here. So I hope you enjoy that. So here we go, folks.
Barbara Allen.
Barbara Allen.
Great.
Christmas time when the green leaves were a-fallen, that Sir John Graham in the West Country fell in love with Barbara Allen. He sent his men down through the town to the place where she was dwelling. Oh, haste and come to my master dear, can he be Barbara Allen? Holy, holy, rose she up to the place where he was lying, and when she drew the curtain by, young man, I think that you're dying. And when she drew the curtain by, young man, I think you're dying. I'm sick, got off a sick, and it's all for Barbara Allen. The better for me is never be their hearts, bloods were a-spilling. Oh, dinna you mind, young man, said she, when he was in the tavern drinking, that he made health scan round and slighted Barbara Allen. He turned his face unto the wall, and death was with him dealing. Adieu, my dear friends all, and death was we him dealing. Adieu, adieu, my dear friends all, be kind to Barbara Allen. And slowly, slowly rose she up, and slowly, slowly left him. She sighed and said she could not stay, for death of life had reft him. He hadn't gone a mile but twa when she heard the deed bell ringing, and never a chow that the deed bell heed cried woe to Barbara Allen. Oh mother, mother, mark my bed, oh mark it soft and narrow. My love has died for me today, and I'll die for him tomorrow.
was awesome.
I don't know. I did like that one.
Did you like that, folks?
You never like hearing yourself. Well, you do, Duncan, but I mean, I never like hearing myself. But I do quite like that one. I think it's a nice song. I guess that wins over everything else. It's quite nice.
It's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So on that recording, we've got our expanded band that we take when we go on tours and things, to make the sound fuller on the album, and we're really happy to have them on there. Archie McFarlane, who took the photos for the album cover as well, the ones you just saw there. Sorry, some of them were sideways, Archie. And Dominic Blakey, who's playing tenor banjo and singing. He's got a really good voice as well.
Yeah,
he plays
yeah,
guitar
totally.
and fiddle as well. Not on the album, but really good musician. And he plays with Rachel as well quite regularly. And she's on the album on one track. And Chris Lyons plays double bass. So he was the guy on piano at the end there. So
Introducing a track that didn't actually cover.
sounds a bit Wild Rover-y almost,
It
in a
does,
jazz kind of way.
I'd love to hear more, but I suppose I'll have to wait until that album drops.
And when's it going to drop again?
Not long to go. I mean, we're talking a matter of minutes.
Well, up in space, Duncan, I suppose all matter is relative.
No one can
and
hear you
time-
scream
and no one can hear you scream.
in space.
Speaking of screams,
Mm-hmm.
I do have this story. We'll have to kind of sandwich it in here.
Oh, is this a paranormal again?
It's a bit paranormal.
Paragormal.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, last week I was telling you about one of my experiences with a DHM, a dog-headed man, which led to an encounter with a ghost. I did have a few strange encounters this week, but we're not going to talk about them because of the complaints that were received. They may come back in future, but I do have a story that was sent in to us by one of our long-term listeners. So would it be all right to go ahead and do that? I mean, cut me off.
Well,
at any
have you
point,
checked that there's no obscenities in there before you read it out?
I would imagine there's no obscenities. It's probably, it's Jacobite propaganda. I mean, the previous stories are anything to go by. But
okay, you've read them before. Okay.
So no, I did read through it and everything, and I think it's probably suitable for us. So this is an article from the Weekly Pintle, which I believe is a newspaper that circulates up in Inverness or Inverness Shire, and it was regarding some sort of there had been an unusual lack of snow on Culloden Field. If you're tuning in from somewhere else in the world, we've had a lot of snow at the moment. If you're in there's a lot of snow everywhere, I think. But anyway, I'll read the story here. This is not the article from the paper. I did a bit of investigative journalism, a bit like Laura Loomer or something. I went in and kind of learned a little bit more about it. So, okay. The fresh Culloden air was filled with sounds of joy. Children laughing and yelping, little toots of excitement as they rode their sledges through the snow, sending pleasant puffs of white powder into the sunshine-drenched scene. It's quite nice, isn't it? A nice start there, yeah? Well, it was always so dark before. The stories were all dark, right? Simon Burnett smiled and laughed as he took in the sight, gesturing a raised thumb of positivity as his son and daughter played with their sledges on the slopes. Go on, Morag, race him. Great turn, Malcolm. You've both done well. Come on, you two, and have some of your mother's shortbread. And there's whiskey. The two bairns ran towards their father, flinging snowballs from their mittens and giggling with glee. I assume you will be taking your leave following your snack of whiskey and shortbread. Simon Burnett turned to face the stranger who had spoken, as his children tucked into a wee dram and bicky. The stranger wore a green plaid suit under a Barber jacket. His bright red face looked painful, chilled from the snowy Culloden air. He was smoking a pipe, from which smoke curled up over his deerstalker hat and rolled around the barrel of his fox-hunting shotgun that he draped over his shoulder. He did not look at Simon as he spoke. Don't you know Culloden is a historic site, and your children are damaging it with their silly toys? Well, it's a fine place for sledging, and I'd say the wee ones won't do any harm. A fine place indeed. This is where those silly Scots were butchered for getting notions of scallywaggery in the 18th century. Frightful ordeal. Blasted animals got what they deserved. Anyway, I'm the local authority, and this place is not for people like you. Without a permit or ticket, you can't be on this historical site with sledges, shortbread, and whiskey. Leave immediately, or I shall call the police. Don't you know there's a bloody pandemic? The red-faced man turned to Simon, blowing smoke over him and his children. Simon was outraged, but before he could overcome his shock, the man held up a plastic card that read, Hanoverian Battle Site Defenders, by appointment of the official Duke of Cumberland Trust. Simon bit his lip. He was not in the mood for a fight, and he was all too aware of the significant power that the trust held in the local governance. Come away, Bairns. I know you want to play a wee bit more. Don't cry. There's more shortbread and whiskey at home. Come away, come away. The snow will still be here tomorrow. And the Burnett family left the merry scene. Will the snow really be here the morn? Oh, sorry, that was the children. Will the snow really be here the morn, Da? It's such good fun, asked Morag. And before Simon could answer, the fox-hunting stranger shouted, Don't count on it, little Scottish girl. He's not very nice, is he? After Simon returned home, he told his wife about the interruption of the local authority, and while she was equally unimpressed by the rude manner of the stranger, she commended Simon on his restraint, and after a fine meal of mince and tatties, the children were put to bed, and she performed fellatio on her strong pintled partner. The next day, Simon and the children trudged through the deep snow with their sledges to the sledging slope. After a fine sleep, Simon was in a good form, and if the red-faced man with the badge of authority turned up again, well, Simon had a few choice words ready. Arriving at the sledging slope, there was no sign of the man, but also no sign of the snow. The thick snow they had been in mere moments before had thinned to nothing, and the whole moor was bare and dirty. Morag started to cry. Turning away from the terrible snowless sight, Simon ushered his children home. He told his incredulous wife of the happenings. Both of them were perplexed at how such a thing could transpire. After fish and eggs for dinner, a bedtime story for the Waynes, then a lovely performance of Simon's whistle, the Burnett family were all fast asleep. Outside, the blizzard blew, and the snow fell heavy from the sky. Seeing the fresh covering in the morning, Simon leapt out of bed and ran to inspect the sledging slope at Culloden. He slipped and fell several times as he charged forward, sometimes knee-deep in the powder, but when he reached the moor, again, the snow was all away. That bastard, muttered Simon. He thinks the same thing as us, I guess. After telling his wife all that he had seen, Simon hatched his plan. No doubt, someone was playing foul here, getting up and clearing all the snow away so the kiddies couldn't go sledging. It's a nanny state, Simon told his wife as she blew a fine tune on his flute. After the recital in the evening, the blizzard was up again. Tonight, however, all the Burnett family was asleep, except for Simon. He was out the door in his salopettes and heavy jacket, with a woolly hat and tartan scarf to keep him warm on this snowy night. It would be the last time he ever left his house. Stumbling through the night and snowdrifts, he finally came to the sledging slope on Culloden Field. There was snow. Yes, everywhere there was snow. And men. Hundreds and hundreds of men, dressed in red coats, wearing black hats, armed with muskets, Their white socks were blending into the snow at their feet, almost, but the white socks, strangely, were whiter than the yellow snow at their feet. With revulsion, Simon realized that he was looking at the long-dead regiments of the Hanoverian army, risen tonight on the battlefield of Culloden as ghosts, and they were... no. At first he had not noticed, mostly due to the unnaturally small size of the things, but now he saw. The ghosts of the Hanoverian soldiers were holding their wee willies and urinating on the ground. They cackled and bayed like beasts as their ectoplasmic discharge melted the snow and seeped into the ground. I told you, Culloden is a historic site, Mr. Burnett. Before he could turn around, the sword pierced Simon's chest from behind and burst through his chest. Red mist sprayed into the thick blizzard as the poor lad breathed his last few moments. The cruel assassin leaned over his shoulder and licked at Simon's face with a long green tongue. Behold, tonight my men kill with one stone twa corbies. We pee-pee on your dead Highlanders and stop even your kiddies from enjoying their own land. Ha 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 ha! Hiss! Why? Gasped Simon, and died. Because we are Hanoverians, Prince William lisped. Have you not heard the stories? Outrageous.
Whoa.
Wow. You got another song for us, Jack?
I do, and funnily enough, it ties in with a thing you just mentioned, Twa Corbies. So
Just play it.
Drop the mic.
As I was walking all alone, I heard twa corbies making a main, touring through the t'other sail. Where shall we gang and dine the day? Oh, shall we gang and dine the day? Behind John Alfeld Dyke, for in there lies a new slain knight. Nobody kens that he lies there, oh, except his hawk, his hound, and Liddy fair, oh, except his hawk, his hound, and Liddy fair. His hawk's awa' tae the hunting game, his hound's awa' to talk the wild fall hame, his Liddy's ta'en and never mate, oh. So we must mark our dinner sweet, oh, we must mark our dinner sweet. Sit on his white horse bane, and I'll pluck out his bonny blue ain, and we're locked oh his gown and hair, oh, well fuck our nest war and cross bear, oh, fuck our nest war and cross bear. Money the one for him Max Main, but none shall ken where he is gain, for his white bones when they're pale, oh. The wind shall laugh at our mare, oh, the wind shall laugh at our mare.
There you go, folks.
Great track.
Spy Corbies. Another epic.
2 crows.
Indeed. So I think I'm going to try and get into read people's comments as well as you, and we can get through some of these. We've not been
the stream chat accidentally and lost half of them.
No,
That's pretty bad, man.
I know.
You're letting us down.
Incredibly unprofessional.
All right, so we've got right comments here. This is good. Here we go. There's a lot of stuff.
Leave us hanging, Jack.
Sorry about this. Two great storytelling, shortbread, whiskey, and other stuff, Stewart. And that's Caroline Lee Smith. Ken Longfellow replies to that saying, "Indeed, quite informative and tantalising." Anne Hansen, you remind me of the Corona-free days. I think we've seen that. Hi from the US, Kim Johnson. Yep, seen that. Is this us going back? Gormiti was a TV program, Caroline Lee Smith says.
So it was Gormiti, not
Gormiti.
Gormitis.
Trisha D. Hall Newland says the full instrumentation really packs a punch. Thank you very much for the album. I'm assuming that's on the new album. What about Gormiti? Sorry, Trisha D. Newland. Bob and I love our Friday nights because of the Gorms. Well, we somehow get through our Friday nights because of you. You came here.
They were the
If it wasn't for all of you, we wouldn't be doing this.
And Caroline Lee Smith says, what about Gormiti's Warrior from the Island of Gorm?
Oh, no, wait. Did we not read those ones before?
Oh, yeah, so maybe I'm going the opposite way here. Let's see. It appears you had fair weather in Edinburgh today.
No, that's all the way back at the start.
So this is a different order. I'm going to have to look.
Well,
I think it's all in a random order.
Saturn is coming into position, so they do say the poles are going to switch. Could just be a little example of that.
Apparently the poles are supposed to switch at some point.
Leave the poles out of this, Duncan. They've already been through enough.
Right, there's a few comments. I'm sorry about this if it freezes a little bit here, but let me read some of these. So
that's okay, Jack, fire away.
Here we go. So Carrie Hunter says, we came into Stramash and you were on, but not advertised.
That's where I was. Right. That's where I left off.
Okay, so we played a gig. They were there at Stramash. You were amazing. Best night we had. We're coming back to Edinburgh a year later, and I spent forever trying to find out who you were. And I think I found the right band. And as a surprise, I had a meal and whiskey front table with my other half. Didn't know, and he wanted to go to bed. You came on about 9:30 at night, and that was it. We were there all night and had another amazing night. We'll get back to see you live again. You've made both our Scottish trips amazing and our lockdowns even better. Thank you. Thank you too, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie. Well, we miss it. You know, we really do. It's great. It's going to happen again. We'll get there. And I hope your boyfriend had a good night, despite you dragging him back to sit and watch us till 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope he had a good time. I'm sure he did. I hope he did.
Well, here anyway, we've got Ken Longfellow, the good old days at the wash and whiskey rooms. Yeah. David Lee Smith, Stewart, on the subjects of goose and ghoulies. Have we read this one out before? No,
that's one of the ones I lost.
I once, in 1983, when Aberdeen won the European Cup Winners' Cup, met the devil himself sitting on a rock on a dark and lonely forest path on the way back from the pub in Bathgate. He told me lots. He told me lots of life stuff that I wish I could remember. That I remembered, but I was a bit, let's say, inebriated.
That was Real Madrid. I think Aberdeen beat back then. I think that was Real Madrid in the Cup Winners' Cup. Glory days, man. Glory days. And who was that said that?
That was
Jack?
David Lee Smith.
David Lee Roth again coming in with these. I didn't know he was a big fan, but yeah. Both the Dreadnought and the Aberdeen Football Club. That was fun. Alex Ferguson still managed Aberdeen, I think.
I'm pretty sure he was.
That's when I was a Don's young star. That was my other call in life.
You were an up-and-coming young football star.
I was.
And then you started drinking. Something happened. I don't know.
Well, some bad influence started me down that path. That's right. I moved down to Edinburgh because of my brothers. But that was good, wasn't it? It was great. I sometimes watch that again. A bit like North Korea. You know, when you're kind of watching the World Cup and you win every time. I'm a bit out of touch with the football these days, but I do watch the Aberdeen game, the Cup Winners' Cup, whenever I can.
And then we've got Victoria McPherson. Good evening from the McPhersons. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Victoria and Al, good to see you both.
Enjoying the chat and music with you tonight. We're enjoying it too. Glad you could make it. Anne Hansen, Morton from Denmark has lost £30 and is ready to do the river dance.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
is it weight or money that he's lost?
We're always looking for new dietary recommendations. So.
I think doing the river dance would help to lose £30. So if you start now, then you'll lose even more.
Caroline Lee Smith, Gormiti was a TV programme. Morton Jensen says, play one of your great numbers. Will do, Morton. Well, that was 30 minutes ago, so we will again. We'll play another one. Gary Doig, hi. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hey,
Glad
Gary.
you could join us.
Right.
Caroline Lee Smith, guys, question for you. What are your favourite bands, musicians, other than the obvious Scottish folk influences? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question.
We
all like such different things, I guess. So it's that is a pretty good question. Just want to shout out to Gary as well. If you're still on for that trip up Snowdon, then obviously talk to me on the Extractor Fans website, because it's kind of off limits. But for inspirations that are outside of Scottish folk music, because within Scottish folk music there's obviously quite a lot. But I've been listening a lot recently to a guy called Michael Bolton, who, when I was being brought up, our parents were very into Michael Bolton for a little while, and he is one of my all-time favorite singers. So Michael Bolton, if you're into that, I don't know if he's R&B or soul or something. I'm not sure the category that Michael Bolton is in, but I do love Michael Bolton. Can I Touch You is well good. I listen to that quite a lot. But I've also been trying to get up to date with the more modern music as well. Over lockdown, I listened to a lot of music. So I've been listening to a band. I'm trying to get the name right here. They're Duncan. You know this band. They're pirates. They're a pirate band.
From where?
I think Perth.
Oh, or do you, are you talking about? What are they
Keel
called?
Haul the Bastard. That's the song. It's like Keel Haul the Bastard.
Yeah, I think I know who you mean, but I can't remember what they're called. I'm afraid.
Well,
Glasgow,
then
no?
it could be. I don't really know. Where
Well, since we're doing a bit of sort of influences, I can maybe, in the studio I keep some of my most influential albums, ones that I just like to put on whenever I need to get in the zone and figure out how to do a really good bounce down or a mix,
So just before Jack, and Tunde from White House Family.
Sorry to cut you off.
Tunde's my other one. Anyway, sorry buddy.
Just before I show you that, Natasha Devlar, I think that's how you pronounce it, just sent us £10. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Thank you.
Anne Hansen sent us £15, which is amazing. Thanks, Anne. And Jenny Carter sent us £60. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
So
one of those songs must have done well.
One of my big influences, I like to spin this from time to time, is a Bruce Willis album.
Bruce Willis?
Yep, it's
from Die Hard.
It's him. It's called The Return of Bruno.
My goodness.
It's got Bruce Willis on the front. It's not meant to be red coloured. There it is. And it's got.
Do you just have that to hand at all times?
I do. I didn't even have to get up off my seat to get that.
Where does that come from?
It's in my studio, you know. And we've got Coming Right Up is the first track. And this is from 1985, I think. Before he even did Die Hard.
Wow.
Respect Yourself, Down in Hollywood. He's kind of, you know, soul sort of stuff. Under the Boardwalk. And there you go. And another influence that I've got.
Okay, but there's more than Bruce Willis, okay.
A big influence.
What's your favourite Bruce Willis film, Duncan? I'll ask you that afterwards. It's coming up still.
Coming up, okay.
So,
another one, Jack?
some people may know of a film star / well, really just a film star called John Travolta. I'm not too interested in him. What I'm interested in is his brother, Joey Travolta.
I did not know he had a brother.
Wow.
So,
why would I?
I prefer Joey, to be honest. He's got some songs. It's all kind of 70s disco stuff. Pretty good. The Magic Is You, it's called. Oh no, it's just called Joey Travolta, but my favourite track is The Magic Is You.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
There.
Thanks. Duncan? Or is there more, Jack? Or?
And there's this...
Oh, you've got more.
There's a band called Agoraphobic Nosebleed. There you go.
Oh yeah, agoraphobic nosebleed.
Domestic power violence. There you go. And that's my 3 top influences at the moment.
Agoraphobic Nosebleed, was that a 2-piece?
I think, yeah. One of them's a singer and one's a guitarist, and the other one...
Did they go through a procedure that they would attempt to become sort of androgynous together? Am I making that up?
Oh no, that's another band.
Another band, okay. What was the other band?
Throbbing Gristle.
Throbbing Gristle.
Got this.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about this guy. Just passing. I mean, I'd like to hear about something else after this, but just a little passing thing. Just this album here.
Is that Ronnie Brown or?
I see it. No.
Ivor Cutler, is it?
Best of Rolf Harris.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so
okay, well let's move on from
quickly
that.
Moving
Duncan,
on.
what about you, Duncan? Duncan, you're a sort of musical guy sometimes.
Sometimes I like loads of different stuff. I think recently I've maybe been listening to mainly German medieval metal, like in Extremo, Shandmal. What's no, I said that in Extremo. Saltatio Mortis.
Okay.
Good guys. I met them playing in German medieval festivals, and I really like them. Loads and loads of fire on stage. I understand about 20% of the lyrics, so you know. But I like the music. Loads and loads of German medieval.
People. I doubt they understand ours either.
No, I get some of it, but I love hearing different kinds of bagpipes. You know. So many. A lot of them use German bagpipes, and some use Spanish, cornemuse French. There's loads of different things going on. There's a good one from France called Boisson Divine. I hope I said that right. They have French bagpipes. It's actually you might have met the bagpiper. He plays with Emilio and Skiltron as well.
Oh, right on, yeah, Skiltron. They're a great band, yeah.
Yeah, so stuff
That's
like
cool.
that. But I also listen to loads of classical music, and I kind of get past Beethoven, really, and the Romantic composers in general. Czech nationalism.
He was from Bonn, is that right?
That's right, aye. Oh, we went to the Beethoven house, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah,
We stood outside
Very
it.
expensive.
We stayed there, that's right.
Very
aye.
expensive, but I paid for it. It was no big deal.
Of course.
When you look like this, it's not.
So
no big deal.
let me
any more messages
go
then?
through
Any
the
more
rest of the
questions
comments here, and before we play another song, just try and get through them here. So, Trisha D. Hall Newland, just beautiful. The pipes are so lovely. Not sure what the pipes were in before, but they were in something probably.
I can't remember.
Victoria McPherson, great song. Thank you. Trisha D. Hall Newland. We've seen that. Ken Longfellow. Sideways is exactly the word I would use to describe you.
Sideways photographs.
Yeah. There you go. Sort of, what you call that? Profile.
If you want.
Play some funky music. Play some music. 3 different comments. Well, not sure how funky we get, but we get folky. So,
Folky, we can play some folky music.
That's good.
It's good. Idea.
Caroline Lee Smith. Toot to great storytelling, shortbread whiskey and other stuff, Stuart. Indeed.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've seen these ones. That Ken saying it's informative and tantalising. Trisha D. Hall Newland. Bravo, Stu. Captivating. I agree. Kellyanne Kelty. Miss you guys.
Oh, Kellyanne.
Miss you
Hello.
too. Not seen you in ages.
Years now, I think.
She goes, you're drunk.
Surprisingly not tonight. But that's another 7 drunken nights, absolutely.
Ken says, I suspect they're often influenced by the drink. Wink. I quite like that.
Possibly.
I'm somewhat influenced by the drink myself.
Yeah, I really like the harmony in the 5th movement every time. Ailstorm, that's who it was. I think I found. I've
thanks,
got
Chris.
Back.
Oh, you got
back
it.
with the
You
messages.
take over then.
I caught up with where you are. Ailstorm, that's the pirate band you're thinking of.
That's right.
FU with an F and anchor.
Next one, Duncan.
Next one. Oh, sorry. Well, that was from Chris Riley, who's watching. Trisha D. Hall Newland. Michael Bolton, Bruce Willis, Joey Travolta. You guys are awesome. I think your collection, I have to say, is quite spectacular.
Do you want another one?
Aye, please do. Have you got any Steven Seagal?
I wish.
Tales from a Crystal Cave, a good record.
I wish I had that.
Next question, Duncan, while Jack's fiddling with his
looking for
black
something.
stuff.
Bodo Calderon's watching with us from Mexico, I believe.
Oh, fantastic.
Kadula Shear is watching. Oh, Trisha D. Hall Newland. Duncan, do you listen to Cultus Ferox? Yes, I met them quite a few times. I played with them in Germany with my other band Celtica when I've been on tour in the circuit there. So yeah, I know those guys quite well.
Yeah, you're always going to plug Celtica, but when they're going to plug us back, that bass player. Anyway.
So
he's got something.
Soundtrack to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the film.
The original, the first movie.
It is the original.
Brilliant.
Trying to get a good shot of that.
That's great. The new film was very good. Seamus was in it. The rest are.
Was he?
He's great. Thanks, Jack. That's brilliant. Any more comments, Duncan?
No. Peter Meinzer is watching with us, but that, unless I lost more comments, is where we're.
What's wrong with you, Peter?
But I think we had more music to play anyway.
Oh,
we do. We've got another song.
More music.
We've got another song to lead us
nicely towards the actual launch of the actual album, which is why everyone's here waiting on tenterhooks for this. We played 2 tracks from the album, did we?
We did. And last week we played 2. So don't want to give it all away.
Don't want to give it all away.
So what's this next track?
This next track is a bit of an old classic. This is Caledonia by Dougie MacLean.
Yeah, man. Lovely. And who's playing it? Who's playing this one?
The Gorms. So
Gorms.
Here we go.
Oh, they're my favourite.
We're joined by Archie and Dom on this one as well.
Oh yeah.
So here we go. Caledonia. Hope you enjoy.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid I might drift away. I've been telling old stories and singing songs that makes me think about where I came from. That's the reason why I seem so far away today. Oh, now let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. Whether I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. I have moved, and I've kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost the friends that I needed losing, made others on the way. Yes, I kissed a girl, and I left her crying. I broke her heart, yes, there's no denying. Travel far, we my coattails flying, somewhere on the wind. Oh, now let me tell you that I love you, I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. I'm sitting here beside the fire, the empty room and the forest choir, the flames that just couldn't get much higher. They've withered, now they're gone. I'm steady thinking that my way is clear, and I know what I must do tomorrow. When the hands have shaken, the kisses flown, I will disappear. Oh, now let me tell you that I love you, I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Oh, now let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia's been calling me, now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
All right, lads. Well, that's me done those recordings for you. I'm up in Tuch, as you can, so obviously pretty basic equipment we've got here, like. But if the locals thought I was posh, living in Edinburgh before, Christ knows what they're thinking, looking in the window here, me singing songs to folk that there's nobody about. And what a noise, listening back to that without any music going behind it. Jeez, oh. Anyway, I hope it's good enough for you, and I'll see you after the virus, eh?
Oh, lovely, lovely. That's my favourite.
Hopefully you enjoyed that, folks. That's one of our videos we did in the first lockdown of, what, 3? So
Almost a year ago.
So let's see, Duncan. Can we get caught up with the comments here?
Yeah, I think I'm caught up now. So Trisha D. Hall Newland saying TMNT Jack is now my hero. Someone with similar Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tastes. There you go. Daniel Spees asking if the new album's going to be out on CD.
Well, Daniel, it actually is. it just might take a little bit longer. So we were just not sure about it with the logistics of it, with the pandemic and everything. But
well, we didn't even know if the printer we used was going to be.
Yeah, so it appears to be quite possible to happen. So we're going to do it, and might take a month or so to get the CDs. But if you'd rather wait for that, then go for it. But we will have CDs at some point, fairly soon. The artwork's getting done now.
Well, I'm as confused as you, Daniel. Good question.
Was that an answer?
It'll be available.
The answer is yes. There will be a CD
on CD at some point soon.
Not
but
at the same time.
As of this evening, it will be available to download or stream. Ken saying, "Paid me amazed by the breadth of interest you mates are able to share with us. Just stunning." Well, thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Cheers, Ken.
Daniel Spee agrees with that. Anna says she loves this song, Caledonia. I love that. It's got to be my favourite.
Cheers, Anna.
Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, Victoria McPherson says, "You do the best version of Caledonia." Donny McLean, who?
Oh no! Better not tell him that.
No, but we might get banned from playing it.
Is it not Dougie McLean? I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
You're right. Sorry, aye.
Who?
Donny. Who's Donny? Then?
Is he
Donny
not
Munro.
from Runrig?
Run Road. It's Donny Munro's Run Rig.
Run Road. Run Road. He was in, yeah.
Run Road. Ken's saying, "I me too. If only could listen to one song for the rest of my life, it would be Caledonia."
Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Ken.
Hey, cheers, Ken. Good memories, man. Robbie Burns. I'm glad you liked it. All of you folks, I really appreciate the support. I'm glad you're enjoying the music. It is strange when you don't get the chance to play music. I mean, it's strange for us because we don't get to hang out together anymore, but it's so nice when we can play music together, and there's lots of people that are enjoying the music, and then you finish playing the music and you get to spend time. It's nice. I guess you miss people, don't you? But we'll be okay. We'll get there. We'll all be together soon. It's that's like Waco, isn't it? We'll all be together soon.
I thought you were not supposed to be getting so dark this week.
That's not dark.
It's just
not dark.
Life.
Seventh Adventist. That's okay.
Okay. Well, Victoria McPherson's a few gins in, and Chris
already
can't believe the sun's light travelled 146 million kilometres just to shine on Stu's chebs. Some appreciation in an abstract form
for every reaction, you know.
Was it just the chebs though? It was the Kinder Surprise Man as well. I mean, it was a double whammy there.
Right.
Well, I did receive a few complaints. You know, people at the time said we're concerned about global warming, and I'm always tuned into all these kind of things. So they kind of laid my pale body there, what you just watched, and all that damage from the sun
got reflected,
sent right back. What was it? I think it was Bill Hicks. You know, when you're on a beach and you look at him, you get blinded. It's like a mirror. So thank you very much to my long-term confidant. What was his name again?
Chris Riley. He says.
Well, we used to romp together.
He says that he's loving your bank punk outfit.
Hey man, struggling musicians, we've got to make ends meet these days.
Well, that
corporate.
On that note,
I think it's pretty much time for the main event.
Well, have we got? I heard you, Stu. You were saying you had some info you wanted to tell us.
Oh yeah, well we should address that. Yeah, I didn't really want to, but up here in Chuch we have like a local town. I've got a local town hall. I'm sure you've got a town hall wherever you are. I made a blunder. One of the dangers with the town hall. Oh,
lost you.
You're back.
One of the dangers with the town hall. You see, this is the way it got the censorship. But the one of the blunders with the town hall is sometimes you put up a message. So we have a town hall, Anyway, obviously, no one goes there together, but you leave messages and things if you can help. It's usually for older people and things like that. But this week, like this past week, there was a few messages up there which were about the Gorms stream. Some people were a little bit wound up about last week. I was talking about dog-headed men. You know, in the past, I've spoken about aliens, nuclear weapons, coronavirus, plagues, ghosts, all kinds of things. And nobody really got bent out of shape about it. But the DHM stuff did hit home. So in the newspapers, they always print the apology on the last page. So at the end of our video, you know, we're going to print our apology as well. So I was wrong. I was wrong. You know, a certain archbishop of a certain church in the sort of Canterbury region, he had posted on the wall of the local town hall some messages, just short messages. You're only allowed a certain number of characters on the local town hall board. So I had posted back a few because they were addressed to me. I normally don't reply to them, to be honest with you. My Extractor fans website's always the best way to get in touch with me, but I did reply, and I was wrong. I was completely wrong, because the archbishop of this unnamed sort of southern not a cult, like a southern the archbishop of this southern group, you know, he was adamant that there was dog-headed men. He said I was ridiculing it, which I think is a bit unfair. I'm trying to present these things in a way that a lot of people enjoy, like a lot of people enjoy. And he took great offense to the way it had been presented. And he said, well, my church has dog-headed men in it. And I belittled him. I was a bit foolish. I went in there, guns blaring, a big, long list of comments on the local town hall webpage. And I was wrong. And I was wrong. So most of you probably wouldn't have been involved with that discussion. But if you were, then as promised, you know, here it is. So I do apologize, because my statement that the church did not accept dog-headed men as reality is wrong. And I was ill-informed, like I am about a lot of stuff. Like, I'm a folk singer, so I don't claim to be an expert in everything. And I try to just be myself. And I'm sorry if that does get me in trouble. So as promised and as sent to me by the Archbishop, here is Saint Christopher, which is, of course, the proof that dog-headed men are in the church, and the church does not exclude anyone, or if it does, that's okay. But certainly dog-headed men are not excluded from the church. Jack, I sent you the picture.
It's
up.
up.
Archbishop sent to me. Is that
yeah,
up?
Yeah. It's
right. So there we are.
Full display.
So that's Saint Christopher. As he said, I thought Saint Christopher was just the guy that carried the baby across. The baby was Jesus and all that thing. But there you go. The church is accepting of an awful lot of people. That church, that particular church, and there is Saint Christopher in all his glory. What's it called again? When you have the head of a dog.
It's what is that called?
It's something. Canocephaly or something like that.
Canaan, I think, or Canaan. Canaan. Anyway, there is. So, and I am genuinely. I was embarrassed, but I got over it. So I'm not going to stop posting that sort of stuff. I didn't know that, and now I do. And I think debate is important, you know. And I think it's important that people can have different views on stuff. That's all. Sorry, folks. Sorry to my brothers mostly, Jack, Duncan. I'm really sorry about that.
Well, your apologies accepted. I've just realised that you look like, is it Renham or Denham from the IT crowd?
Great show.
Renham Industries. Anyway,
so
when he jumped out the window, that was good, wasn't it?
So the bottom line is the church accepts dog-headed men, and you should keep your mouth shut about saying they don't.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Sure.
So
well,
let's see. I think we should maybe check the last few comments, and then let the proceedings commence.
Well, Al McPherson has a request for Stu to sing "Stand Free" to the tune of Lord of the Dance. So maybe we can think about that for a future stream.
No problem, Al.
Giada Fratantonio.
Thank you for the support.
Miss your lives at Whiskey Pub in Edinburgh. Ciao from Italy.
Cheers.
Ciao, Giada. Thanks for joining us. Daniel Spee will be buying the digital edition today and the CD later once it becomes available if international shipping is possible.
Amazing.
Otherwise, he'll come back to Scotland and pick one up after Corona. Do all three.
Cheers, Daniel.
Do all three. Ken Longfellow's asking, isn't that St. Schnauzer?
Hey, I'm not talking about that anymore.
St.
Enough
Good
trouble.
Boy was Chris Riley's suggestion.
St. Rover.
St. Rover.
And is that it?
That's us for the moment.
All right, folks. So let's just show us a wee picture of the new album
cover.
Times
New
of
album
Trial.
cover.
We showed this. We unveiled it last week, but this is the cover. It's got the kind of full band lineup on there, and you actually get that if you go to. So I'll tell you what, if you're on the stream and you want to download the the album, maybe you can see it going live as I publish it here.
How exciting.
That is exciting. Can I do that as well?
Yeah, you can. So
Oh, that's really exciting.
if you go to the Gorms.bandcamp, bandcamp.com, and if you just visit that and it'll take you to the main page. So if you do that right now, you'll be taken to our previous album because the new one isn't live yet.
That is true. I can
Right.
vouch for that fact. See it.
However,
Wow.
when I press this button in 10 seconds, this album is going to be live.
We should have had a drum roll.
Ground control to Major Tom 5. Approaching 4. Countdown number 3. Put your protein 2. And put your helmet 1. Blast off.
And the album is loading. Congratulations, Times of Trial is now published. So, if you go to thegorms.bandcamp.com, the first album that you should just be taken to will be the new one.
If you were already on the page, just refresh your browser and...
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Yeah. Should old acquaintance... Look at that, they're up in the fake
They're up in the
spaceship.
cloud. They're up in the cloud.
So excited I'm going to play a whistle solo.
And never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot.
There you go.
Right, well, I'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah, well done. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream today. Daniel Spee says it's live, which it is. So, hope everyone enjoys it. If you download it, let us know. Let us know what you think. And thanks again for tuning in.
And we will see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be
see
back
you next week. And folks, if you're going to tune in next week, which I most certainly hope you will, if you're interested, why don't you send us a couple of questions in advance of next week? We're hitting the point now. You know, we've been brothers for
a
good 10 years now.
A long time. It depends. I mean, it depends if you believe the length of time is real. But certainly as long as we can remember, we've all been alive. So we don't have a lot to talk about. You know, the three of us have drastically different opinions on pretty much everything. We've never agreed on anything out of principle, really. Different religions, different political affiliations, and all that kind of stuff. So if you do have any questions, then please let us know. It gives us something to talk about. Hopefully it could be entertaining for you. If you've got any interesting stories or that about, whether it's the paranormal, or UFOs, anything from the ghosts to the UFOs.
Have you met Joey Travolta at any point? We'd like to hear about that.
anything at all, then please let us know. Send in messages. Where can folks send messages, Jack? I guess there's like a town hall page. You've got a town hall page.
Send it to our email. We like that. Gmail. Thegorms at gmail.com. Gives us a nice break from social media.
Well, I'm going to head back up to the Cayley now. Jack, I'm assuming you're going to have to do a bit of work in the studio.
Yeah. I've got Sheryl Crow waiting to lay down some tracks.
Have you got enough Budweiser?
I'm a lover. I'm your
Ken Longfellow says, "Good night, you fine fellows of Fillory." Same to you, Ken. He says, "Thanks for brightening my day." Oh, and Ken Longfellow just bought the album.
Oh, first download.
You're the first download, Ken.
Number one.
Thank you so
You're
much.
A winner.
You're a winner.
You've won a Gorms album. Congratulations.
And he says, "First hour sales will be through the roof, I'm certain." I hope so, Ken. We'll see. It'll get to number one in the charts. And Trisha D. Hall Newland says, "Thank you again for making our Fridays such a great time." Thanks, Trisha. Thanks for joining us.
I hope you've had a good fun. We enjoy it. You know, it means a lot to us that you guys tune in as well. Duncan.
Yes.
You're in space.
Well, I'm a space cadet.
You're a child of the sort of sci-fi world.
I do like sci-fi, yeah.
Would you, from your galactic position, I don't know if you're a god, I don't know if you're
well, quite clearly not.
An amoeba. What do they call the things in space? Satellite. That's the one. I don't know if you're one of them, but I wonder if this evening you would send our drivers away. Obviously, Mick Hodges is coming on next on Gorms FM. But before we pass over to him, would you give us a closing statement for tonight for all our millions of viewers and the billions listening from home?
Just before you do that, Duncan, I'd like to announce that someone else just bought the album.
Oh my goodness. Also, Victoria McPherson's asking, where can we download the album? I think it's in the description of the stream, but just to give you the web again, it's thegorms.bandcamp.com, and that the new album is now live. It'll take you straight there when you go to that website.
It is. So let me just see who bought that album, because it is from it only gives me an email address, info@DAANTIE.
So send all your hate mail to that website.
Thanks to you for buying that. That's great. A message. Oh, with regard to today's purchase, your loyal fan sends the following message. Oh, it's Daniel Spee. Thanks, Daniel. He says, "Thanks for the new album, lads. Cheers, Daniel."
Hope you enjoyed, Daniel.
David Lee Smith just bought the album. Thank you so much, David. It's really appreciated. So we've now got 3 people who've got it, which is
I don't even have it yet.
I mean,
triple the sales.
It's a triple platinum.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, folks. I hope you enjoy the record. If you don't, let us know. If you do, definitely let us know. Duncan, I'm going to pass. Duncan, you're in space, somewhere out there in looks like the Earth galaxy.
The Earth galaxy. I think the galaxy in question would be the Milky Way. But in a wee tiny part of it.
A lot of people at the moment in the world, they're worried about all kinds of things. Social unrest.
We live in times of trial, Mr. Cook.
That's the name of our album.
That's the name of the album, by the way.
In times of trial like this, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of guidance. And I wonder what guidance you can offer us. A closing statement for tonight's wonderful broadcast.
Some hae meat and canna eat. Some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, so let the Lord be thanked.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.